Alright, this is the second time I'm making this video because the first time it didn't save for some reason. The first video was 20 minutes long, so I'm going to spare you that. Strange things have been happening. I've been feeling weird lately. About 2 weeks ago, I went to my family, and alright, backstory quickly. I was going to try to spare you the long version, but my whole life I have had these dreams that have scared the living snot out of me. I've been through a lot of stuff that is my own doing. I don't blame God for any of that, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. I went to prison, which was the best time of my life spiritually. I read through the Bible, front to back, twice. I was supposed to get life in prison. I didn't. I agreed to 2 5-year sentences. I ended up, the day before I was supposed to go to prison, getting illegal sentences, and ended up with 1.5 years. Now, the entire time I was in there, from day one, I pled guilty. I said, yeah, I'm guilty. I prayed to God every day while I'm reading the Bible after or whatever. To only give me enough time to get my head right and to atone for whatever I did wrong in the Lord's eyes. So out of that life I was supposed to get, and that 10 that I agreed to, I ended up with 1.5 years. Fast forward. Where was I saying? Oh, weird stuff. So I've always been a loner. I like being alone, which is why prison was so great, because I just sit in my cell and be alone with the Lord. So lately, the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've been isolating myself bad. I've just been watching religious stuff and praying, and like a lot, incessantly praying. Like every time I leave the house, looking up at skies, praying. Every time I get in the car, praying the entire time I'm going somewhere. When I get to my destination, I've been praying. Everything, like, just weird. At night, I won't go to bed. I'll stay up looking at the sky, praying. It's been really weird, because I don't normally pray that much. Even though me and the Lord, I know, have had a long relationship, and I obviously have not always made him proud, because as I said in the last video, I'm a repeat and lifetime sinner, and I'm very easily tempted, but I've always kept faith and trust in the Lord, sometimes more than others. I've been dead multiple times now. I told the story in the video I was going to show you all, but I'll save that for another one. Regardless, the point is this. Lately I've been seeing all these things, and before I started watching all this stuff, the reason I started watching these religious videos was because I was feeling very strange. And I was having these visions in my dreams again that I had from childhood of the skies turning like this terrifying, horrible, storm-looking, not color, but yeah, color. It had a color to it too, but it's like the sky is like this yellowish, gloomy yellowish looking color, and the clouds are like very dark, very scary looking. Okay, and I never see what happens. The storm never occurs, usually. I don't see anything past, like, maybe the wind starting to blow, and then I see a light, and I usually wake up. But, it's terrifying the shit out of me, my entire life. Like, every time I have this dream, and I always feel like it's the end. Like, that is the end. And I never have to witness any of the horrible stuff other than that. It's like the last thing I ever see. Except for, like I said, I might feel the wind or something. But this dream has been plaguing me my entire life, and I've always understood it, even since I was a child, to be, it was it. That was it. I was done. And that's why it's terrified me so much. So, the Lord has blessed me with miracles and blessings beyond belief that I could ever imagine. Ones that don't make any sense in any sort of physical or science way. And I don't deserve them. And I tell him that. But he still keeps giving them to me and leading me through darkness. Without him, I'd be dead. And if I didn't go to prison, I'd be dead. So I see the prison as a blessing. What was I doing? So I start watching these videos because I'm having these weird feelings and these dreams again. And then I go on to the first one I saw was about the red heifers. Then I start seeing all these people coming out saying they're having the same sort of feelings and like weird spiritual encounters and everything that I'm having. Not exactly what I'm having, but same feeling, just different visions and stuff. And I'm no prophet. I'm not special. Once again, sinner, faith in God, love for God, believe in God, but no, not special in any way. So the point is, like I said, I get tempted pretty easily, and I can be swayed pretty easily. And when things are going good is when I tend to stray away from God, not the other way around. Like most, what do they call them? Like good day Christians or something or whatever. Like I'm the opposite. So when things are bad, I go to the Lord hard. Right, but when things are good is when I start to slip up. So this was a weird situation because things were getting kind of weird and not bad because of things I did or anything like that. They just were like I was withdrawing for no reason and feeling really weird and apprehensive about everything for no reason, to the point where I just stopped going to work. And I've been sick. Well, I haven't been sick, but my significant other has been sick, and I've had so much anxiety, and I don't know. It's very weird. So I've been praying a ton, like I said, and so I don't know what to believe, right? Because there's all this weird stuff out there, and there's all these people feeding all this different information. So the last 3 days or so, I've been just picking up the Bible, getting down on my hands and knees, praying to the Lord, holding the Bible closed in my hands, and then flipping open to a page, putting my finger on it, and reading it, which is what I used to do in prison after I read through the Bible 2 times, because the third time I wouldn't have, well, first of all, I wouldn't have made it through it the third time because I would have been out by then, but I didn't know that at the time. But this Bible I stole from the jail. I didn't steal it, really, but yes, I kind of did. A pastor that was there giving a service or whatever gave this one to me because mine was worse than this one, and this one's pretty bad. And so I took it to prison with me. I borrowed it, but it served me well. And as I'm reading or praying, I go like this, and then I flip it open to something, and I point down on it. And I've just been asking the Lord for discernment and what to believe and truth, right? So when I flipped to it today, I flipped right to Acts, okay? And specifically, Acts 2. And crazy enough, it says, in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit upon all the flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Weird, because I've been seeing all these prophecy videos. And your young men shall have visions. I saw a 10-year-old give the most insanely mature and wisdom-filled vision experience testimony I've ever seen in my life a few weeks ago. And your old men shall dream dreams. Well, I'm old now. See the gray. Been having my dreams again. Okay? Go forward. And it says, and signs on the earth beneath, Yellowstone Park yesterday, eruption, all the mud geysers, all that weird stuff that's been going on, all the earthquakes, even an earthquake here, the tornadoes, you'll see. The sun shall be turned into darkness. Weird, didn't we just have an eclipse? And the moon into blood. Didn't we just have blood moon? Strange. Before the day of the Lord comes, the great and manifest day, it shall be that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested to you by God with mighty works and wonders and signs, which God did through him in your midst, as you yourselves know. This Jesus delivered up according to the definite plan and foreknowledge of God, you crucified and killed by the hands of lawless men, but God raised him up, having loosed the pangs of death, because it was not possible for him to be held by it. Like I said, I've always been terrified of this dream and of just like everything. It says, I saw the Lord always before me, for he is at my right hand, that I may not be shaken. Therefore my heart was glad, and my tongue rejoiced. Moreover, my flesh will dwell in hope. Which actually gave me some, hope, I guess. Sorry, I don't plan these videos as you see, nor am I very familiar with the words of the Bible to the point where I could just spit them off. So it's not like I just planned this. I didn't pick this part out. I wish I did, because that would make it a lot less weird, and it would make it me a lot less feeling like this. Because like I said, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I went to my parents. I told them like what I was feeling, and they just basically said, oh, well, just keep doing the right thing, blah blah blah, you're doing good, blah blah blah. Then they could see I still wasn't like satisfied, and like there was something else wrong, and I was like, well, alright, here's what the real deal is. The end is near, like Jesus is coming back. And they're just like, what? And they both claim to believe in God, but I don't know, whatever. So basically made fun of me, and yeah, then I went and told my very religious aunt, who I thought would like at least listen to what I had to say. Well, she just kind of pushed it off too. She wasn't as rude as my parents, but she pushed it off. And to be honest, my father wasn't that rude. It was just my mother. But I could see the look of like my father just being like, oh God, here we go again, right? And I'm thinking, oh God, please listen to me. Like, God, yes, God, but not in that way. But anyways, then I tell my significant other, and I get about the same or worse of a response that I got from my parents, to be honest. And so I'm like, well, whatever. I should have been used to that, because who am I? Once again, nobody, right? I'm some ex-convict criminal kingpin who organized criminal blah 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 blah, who the papers made out to look like, I was Satan himself, and whatever, right? So why should anyone believe me? You shouldn't. You should believe whatever the Lord tells you, right? But you gotta test it. And that right there, when I opened this up and went right to that, and anywhere on this, like, just boom, boom. I don't even look at it when I do it. I go like this and like, boom, boom, there it is. And then I read it. And it's always been accurate into my life. Like, it's always had some very, very significant relevance to whatever I was feeling or going through at the time. Right there was another example. And that's just weird to me, as it is. Kind of freaks me out a little bit too, even though it shouldn't. And, yeah, I don't know. I had to share it because for some reason that's also been something God's been pushing me to do, is to, like, speak out with my lips. Like, Jesus is God. God is awesome. I'm a believer. You should be too, if you're not. But I'm not going to push that on you. That's your own thing to find out. Just as, I mean, for me it's a little weird because I always knew that God was God. I've never had to find God. I just knew. Maybe that has to do with you born dead. I don't know, but it's weird, but I've known. And I feel sorry for people who don't. And I feel really, well, I actually don't feel sorry. I kind of get angered at the people who are so blinded and, like, willing to eat up the lies of the government. Like, I don't think any person, well, some people are, but I don't think anyone is inherently evil. I think they could choose evil, okay? But I feel like in my experience with what the Lord has shown me through my life is that, I mean, I don't judge anyone because it's not my place to. I don't feel anyone else should either. It's not their place to either. Only one has the power.